Hello, my name is Whitney Hobson. I'm a psychologist. I am a millennial, and of equal, if not more importance, I'm a Christian. So I was very excited when presented with the opportunity to speak to you all on this Millennial Sunday about the importance of mental health and mental wellness in the Black church and community. What feels the most important about this conversation is context, is the fact that we are in the midst of a pandemic the likes of which we have not seen in our lifetime. We are on the verge of an economic crisis. We are in the process of choosing the local and federal agents, representatives who we will choose to represent us and chart our course as a nation. And we're constantly being faced with the barrage of accounts and news reports and videos of the dehumanization of Black and brown folks. And we're experiencing all of that as we try to figure out how to work and learn and play and love and stay connected while being forced to be physically apart. And while physical distancing is important to our physical health isn't the only thing that we need to attend to. And all of these experiences can be vastly impactful to our emotional, mental, and spiritual well being. And what I love about mental health is that anybody who's truly talking about mental health in an inclusive way is going to include the necessity to make sure that we are spiritually grounded and spiritually connected. And if there's one thing I can leave with you today, one thing that I think encompasses the importance of all of those connections, it is that messaging matters. And that we have every right and responsibility to set boundaries around the types of messages we allow into our space, but we also have a lot of opportunities to create the type of messaging that is going to feed into us and to our thoughts, into our minds, into our relationships in ways that are positive and affirming and beneficial. A way to do that is to practice self-affirmations, to practice saying something to yourself every day that is speaking a message of affirmation and life and truth that falls somewhere between optimism and somewhere between reality and blends them in a way where you can speak to the things that you want to see for yourself and go out and find ways to make that space a reality. And the great thing is that all the best affirmations are, or at least the best affirmations I've had, have been rooted in my spiritual and religious connection. Whether it's a Bible verse or something that I've heard in a sermon or a song lyric, they've been great ways to ground myself and to speak life. And I have oftentimes found that they're most beneficial when I share them with my friends, with my loved ones, with my church community, when I not only speak into myself, but I speak into them and I allow them to speak into me. And we connect with one another in that way. So I'm going to kick it over to Kayla. I know she has some great things to say to you all, but I want to let you know that I hope that everyone stays well. I hope that I can join you in person in the future, and I'll leave you with my affirmation, which is to go forth in my day with self-love, but with determination to not let fear stop me from challenging what is wrong. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. My name is Kayla Evelyn Cunningham, and I'm a recent graduate of my master's in forensic psychology. My main focus is working with those incarcerated, and I have a lot of experience working with incarcerated men, but I also have experience working with those dealing with substance abuse, juveniles, and incarcerated women. So, just as Whitney stated, we are in the midst of a pandemic, and two things that are extremely important to focus on right now is prayer and our mental health. So, when emphasizing the importance of both mental health and prayer, it is encouraged to understand that one is not an alternative for the other. So, just as in life and anything that you start in life, it will take consistency, and that consistency is both your faith and keeping your mental health at a healthy balance to keep going. So from my experiences, I've realized that clients expressed how them struggling with their mental health actually affected their consistency with prayer. And sometimes they would actually skip church or not go to, not be as consistent with going to their religious events such as Bible study because they were just trying to get by through the day. So to me, their focus on prayer and faith was not as clear because they were mentally distracted. So what I've realized is your enemy does not need anything of your prized possessions, such as your phone or your car or anything that you feel as though is a prized possession, because a prized possession to them is your mind. So once they capture your mind and your thoughts and finally, hurt your feelings, you will feel completely under attack. And so in order to protect that, yes, you can pray. Of course you can pray. I encourage prayer, of course, but you also have to, I encourage people to put something behind that prayer. So, for example, just how you pray for a new job, you have to apply for that job. And then after that, you also, it is encouraged for you to call to make sure that they received your application. And then after that, you pray that you get the job again, of course. But in order to do that, you have to keep those connections and make sure that, you're getting what you need done. So why not apply yourself when committing to your mental health as well? So to practice, you do not need to see a therapist, a counselor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. Just small things to keep you going may be just enough. And you have to know yourself before, if you feel as though you need, someone else, apply yourself and do that. This is for you. So some people actually practice different forms of mental health without even, noticing, such as just setting boundaries and keeping your peace. So maybe not checking your social media for a week. That's something that you could do. Just to keep a peace of mind. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world. So if you need to protect your peace in that sense, go ahead and do it. So another thing you can do is, kind of putting your kids to sleep early. That is a form of mental health. I would say that because you need time for yourself as well, especially during this time and everyone's cooped up in the house. So maybe put them to bed early, little ones, and just give yourself time to regroup. That's important because you can't pour from an empty cup, per se. So you could do that as well, or just putting yourself on a schedule no one can intervene with. So if you say that you want something done by a certain time, let's say 1:00 p.m., then just do that, because that'll make you feel better as well. So although our schedules have changed, we may, be stuck in the house with our husbands and our wives and our kids. Please be sure to take time to walk outside and just and breathe. Maybe run, or take a run for Ahmaud Arbery, and just breathe for those who no longer can. Remember, outside may be closed, but there are still plenty of options and opportunities on God's earth. So have a blessed week, and thank you for listening.